So the first thing we want to ask you questions about is the overview, the weighing overview right at the top. So
Mhm.
why did you read this in rebuttal versus in case or in summary when you've already decided which link to go for?
I think honestly it was a lack of prep because I think it was just like we're gonna establish that these links can go for offense, but at that time I think we were kind of favoring the other links, not necessarily the GCHQ. So we were like, oh, if they frontline this, but then they kind of lack on the other links, we can go for that as terminal defense as well. Kind of like a sneaky maneuver, but I think it was that, and it was just like I think the judge said that they liked weighing at the top, so we are just like, why not put weighing at the top?
Yeah, I guess kind of a related question off of this. So why is this overview four parts instead of just one thing like overall if we win case we link it to theirs?
Honestly, I think maybe it was because we weren't as familiar with the case by then, but I just felt like it was easier to explain like how each individual link kind of interacted with the case as a whole. But honestly, now that I think back at it, I think one overall thing might have been good too. If especially if I use the Greenwald evidence at the top of the case, because that's like really solid evidence. It's like you can't count on the government to kind of control themselves. Therefore, if we win a link, we win terminal defense on their case.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely
Yeah.
a very much strat.
And I think, it's probably maybe a good idea because teams will be like, oh, they're dumping all its weighing. They'll either have to, line by line it in second rebuttal or just concede the weighing, go for a Lincoln. I mean, I know a lot of really good teams, red rebuttal weighing with like multiple 4 or 5 parts, like Saratoga RS, Blake, JS, etc. And so I guess that leads me into my next question, which is what do you think like in general prepping a weighing overview, especially towards the first topics or the first tournaments on the topics, do you think it's a good idea just to, like shell out the weighing overview in like first rebuttal, second rebuttal? Like you've seen a lot of good teams like Blake, Saratoga, all these other good teams just read these like massive weighing overviews in the first tournament of the topic because it's probably not very easy because you don't have a lot of prep and stuff. So is that a strategy you've utilized in the past?
I think that's pretty smart. I think especially if you're reading something with like I think structural violence, climate change, like these kind of big impacts. I think it's like really easy. Or I guess like these easily weighable impacts. I think it makes sense to have a weighing overview at the top. Like on Medicare for All, we have like this Trumpetist ad that linked into climate change, and at first we read it as a sole contention, which was really stupid. But then we eventually turned it into like a 3 contention case, and then every time someone undercovered, I think once someone read like 27 responses on Trump, like at the first tournament of the year, and I had to frontline all of them because like we had like no, that was like it was a sole contention case, right? So like as like the topic progressed, like we eventually knew how to frontline like every single response to Trump. So it was like if we had to, we could just go for it and go read the wing overview. I don't know, we're kind of going away from the question, but I think it's like I think it's strategic depending on the argument. Because if it's really bi-directional, then no. But if it's like structural violence, like very suited towards your specific Lincoln, then yes.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Um, do you also think like weighing a rebuttal is also a good idea? I think you've done it a lot and um, I've tried it out, but do you think like in general it's a good idea to do weighing rebuttal?
I think it's probably. I think it depends. It's like I think not a lot of weighing. Like you don't want to have like 4 pieces of weighing to every turn, but it's also just like implicate your turns and then just like weigh them. It's like okay, yeah, like for example, that turn about which turn should I talk about? I guess the turn about predictive policing, right? Like the time frame term. It's like okay, like well, it just like gives us like a bit more like linking, but more offense. Just like makes it a bit harder to respond to, and it takes like 3 seconds, you know. And like by chance, if the judge was like kind of slow in flowing it, which I think debaters underestimate sometimes, like judges aren't machines. It's like it kind of gives them a second to catch up to, you know.
Mhm.
Because like
I
for one, all they have to write is like OWTF, and then they're done.
Yeah, I definitely
yeah,
agree. I think maybe the downside to that would be I don't know what your experience with this is, but I've definitely had a lot of teams who'd in second rebuttal just be like, oh, it's weighing, we can respond to it later. Or I think a couple of teams do that. And not a lot of judges are like, you have to respond to weighing. That's in first rebuttal and second rebuttal and so on. So yeah, I think that's kind of the problem I had, but it depends on the judge really.
I
Um,
think it depends on like how you phrase the weighing, because like if they just like say, oh, ignore it, like it's weighing, it's like okay, they can respond to the weighing later, but they have to come see the link on the turn. It's game over. Like you can pretty much implicate it like that.
Another thing I remember when I read weighing in rebuttal, like weighing of case, not even just weighing of turns, teams had a nasty habit of just dropping it and saying, I'll get to it on their case. So many teams did this. I hit really good teams who did this exact thing. And don't do that. You need to respond to their weighing, especially if it's on their case over yours. Because if you conceded it, now you've conceded reasons why my case is more important than yours. Meaning, if I win case, round's over. You've just made the round like 10 times easier for me to win.
100%.